What is up, Coach Emma here, and welcome back to the Fit Habit Life podcast, where we cut through the noise, talk real health and fitness, sustainable fat loss, and habits that actually work. And today I have a special guest on the podcast because it's a special episode. It is the 100th episode of the Fit Habit Life podcast. So brought my husband on, Fit Habit Joe.
Hello.
To ask me some questions for fun. I have no idea what he's going to ask me, but I thought it would be kind of fun, just some random episode, get to know me better, and hopefully talk about something fitness related. I don't really know what he's going to ask me. But this should have been released last week, but we got sick, and I'm still kind of congested, if you can kind of hear that a little bit in my voice, but almost 100%. It's just been lingering. We're on a ski trip and we got sick, but that's okay. We're here. So yeah. And my husband's been on a couple times. This is the third time you've been on the podcast.
I don't remember. That sounds right, because we did 2 in the car that one time. We did 1 another time.
Yeah. And so this is the fourth one.
Oh.
Yeah. Cool. I believe. So anyway, should be interesting. So I guess I'm going to give him the floor to start asking me random questions.
All right. So right now we're just going to kind of break the ice. We're going to test your mental acuity and fortitude.
Oh.
And I'm going to give you some rapid fire questions real quick. Answer as quick as you can. If you don't answer quick enough, there will be consequences.
Uh-oh.
All right. You ready?
Sure.
Ready, set, go. What's your favorite color?
Blue.
Least favorite?
Least favorite color?
Yeah.
Brown.
Okay. What's your favorite cold sandwich?
Turkey or roast beef with good bread and mustard.
Cheese. What kind of cheese? Tell me.
Cheese. It depends.
Okay. Hot sandwich?
Hot sandwich. Chicken, pesto, panini.
All right. What's your favorite pasta noodle?
Oh my goodness. Penne?
Least favorite pasta noodle?
Regular spaghetti.
Interesting. One of those people. Okay. What is your favorite programming language?
For those of you who don't know, I used to be a software engineer.
I didn't ask.
Okay. I don't know. I don't have one.
What about least favorite?
Least favorite, Objective-C.
Okay, we have a Mac hater. All right. What is your least favorite exercise?
What type of exercise? Just in general?
Lifting, not cardio.
I was doing something the other day that I really didn't like. I can't think of it. There is something out there.
The clock is ticking.
There's something. I'm trying to think. What was the exercise I was doing that I really don't like? I'm thinking through my current workout program that I've been running with my coach. Because there was an exercise, I'm like, I don't want to do these anymore. But I might not actually hate it. I'm trying to think. There are some exercises I really don't like. I just can't think of them right
now. Okay, what's your most favorite lift?
Deadlift.
Reasonable. Admirable even.
Yeah.
Okay. What is your favorite cut of steak?
Sirloin.
Least favorite?
Ribeye.
Interesting. Okay, you've made a lot of enemies here so far. Let's keep going. Pencil or pen?
Pencil.
Okay. Line paper or graph paper? Quick.
Line paper.
Okay. Supposedly a former engineer here. Ribs or wings?
Ribs,
Wings or nuggets?
nugget,
Beef
every
ribs or
day.
pork ribs?
Pork ribs.
Interesting. Okay.
Mm.
Paisley or gingham?
What?
Paisley, the pattern, or gingham, the pattern?
I don't know what those are.
Okay, next question. Sourdough or baguette?
Sourdough. I know, it's shocking. I'm French.
That is shocking.
Yeah,
Okay. Cottage cheese or ricotta?
cottage cheese.
Ooh, wrong answer. Next one. Tacos or burritos?
Burrito.
Reasonable. Okay. Burrito or quesadilla?
Quesadilla. Mm-hmm.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, 80% of you are gone, and those were our rapid fire questions. Give it up. Excellent effort,
Well,
fit habit wife.
what is your least favorite lift?
My least favorite lift?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I think my knees. I have like really wonky mobility. Like it's really bad at working on it, but it's kind of slow. Um, so most leg stuff I kind of don't like. If I had to say off the top of my head, um, like single leg split squats, although I have been getting better at them. But just any weird squat variation.
Single leg split squat, or do you mean like just split squat? Because single leg split squat would
I
be
guess that was
impossible.
redundant, but
That would be impossible.
oh yeah, it kind of would, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
That'd be impressive.
yeah, that would be pretty crazy. Okay. Um, what's your favorite lift? I probably know the answer to that.
Overhead press.
Yeah, I was thinking that or bench press. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, that was kind of fun. But what are Paisley and gingham? Like what how would you describe those patterns?
Okay, so Paisley is the pattern that when you go into Boot Barn and you look at like a silk shirt or perhaps a handkerchief, it's that sort of pattern with the roughly teardrop shapes and the
Oh, that's disgusting. What's the other one?
gingham.
Yeah.
Gingham is like the cloths that on the Great British Baking Show they cover up the secret um for the
Is it
technical.
kind of like a checkered pattern?
It's almost like a plaid except there's less variation in the lines and it's usually just colors like a color gradient on a white background.
Oh, yeah, that one's for sure. Paisley's gross. So, okay. I learned a new thing today, folks. Okay. Uh, that's fun. So what's the next question?
Okay, so I do have some longer form questions and we can see how
Okay.
many of these we get through. Um What are the most common problems that people seem to have nutritionally? So you've been coaching and you're a long way along on your nutritional journey. I'm also a long way along on my nutritional journey. Granted, I know quite a bit less, but um,
Probably not. You've
uh,
probably heard everything
yeah, but
a dozen times or so.
I guess what I'm saying is that like in this sort of industry, you often hear a lot of like, oh, this is the topic du jour. Like, oh, when you're doing intermittent fasting, like do this for sick results, or like here are some hacks to get more protein. Uh, here's some like cool protein pop tarts that you can buy with my affiliate link. We don't like there's that, and then there's what people actually seem to get wrong more, which you as a coach, you'd run into that more often, or at least you might notice it more often when you're around people or whatever. Now, of course, people will eat all kinds of rough things and they'll know that they're not eating properly. But I mean, like stuff where people think they're doing something right. Like they're like, oh, this is going to be healthy.
Well, it depends. I'd say like off the top of my head, usually like what people think is healthy is just eating less food. And like restricting food. But oftentimes, well, like really the biggest problem that I see in society today is that generally speaking, most people don't have enough muscle mass. And so most people, as they age, they tend to get injured really easily. They can't do their day-to-day tasks without getting injured, like, especially as they start to approach their mid to late 40s, like, a lot more injuries, a lot more easily. And because people don't have enough muscle, they don't have a super great metabolism, which is what's going to help in the food environment that we live in. And by food environment, I just mean, like day in and day out, we have access to so much so easily that is very, very tasty and really easy to overeat. So, you know, part of the journey is building a healthier relationship to food and actually kind of resetting your body so that most of the foods that it does crave are healthy, whole foods that you prep at home. But um there's some stumbling blocks along the way, and even in a healthy diet you can include like processed foods or going out to eat and eating fast food on occasion. But anyway, so most people don't have enough muscle. And so if you're just eating less, but you're not prioritizing protein, you're not strength training, you're probably going to lose your muscle mass because you're not sending a signal to the body to maintain that muscle mass. Um and then you do more and more and more. And also people will, oh, I guess we're talking about nutritionally, but people will do the easiest form of exercise to burn calories, which usually is some type of cardio. Which again, if you're not prioritizing protein and you're not strength training, that's also going to lead to some muscle loss, which is going to put you in a worse place and tends to be less sustainable. Same with the eating really low calorie. Usually, what happens, people eat really low calorie, then they get really hungry and have massive cravings and are like, screw it, I can't do this anymore. And they overindulge and put on a lot of body fat because they're not strength training and they're not eating enough protein. And this is what is very common with people on GLP-1s, which I'm not against them. I'm not against the weight loss medications, but oftentimes they're used improperly. And so people will go on them, starve themselves, go off of them, eat everything in sight, and put on a bunch of body fat. So, anyway, long answer short, trying to cut calories to be healthy, I'd say, or just
Got it.
eating less.
So it seems to be more of an issue of not exactly what they're eating. It's more that most people are not in a good place metabolically.
Yeah, but part of that is because of what they're eating. So, it's like
Well,
really,
yeah, they make it worse with going, oh, well, if I eat less, oh, I lost a little bit of weight, I'll keep eating less, and then they're even
well,
worse off metabolically.
yes and no. Just in general, you look at the population, what most people eat on a day-to-day basis, how most people live their lives. They're not living in a way that's going to support a healthy metabolism, a healthy gut, a healthy hormone profile. And so already they're not in a great spot. And so what people think is like, oh, the only thing I have to do is just eat less and move more, and then that's going to get me to where I want to go. And it's like, well, no, you're overly stressed. You're not moving enough throughout the day. Like you sit and work a desk job. You don't lift weights. You don't drink enough water. You don't eat enough protein or fiber to have regular bowel movements and maintain muscle mass. And you don't sleep. So it's like, those are kind of the big rocks you need to fix first. And that will probably lead to some weight loss and better energy levels and looking more toned. But oftentimes people don't think about the other aspects too, which I'd say is a big mistake.
Hmm. Okay, well, that's a good segue to my next question for you, which
Yep.
is, what are the most common problems that people seem to have with their workouts?
Oh.
That could be mistakes that people make when they're, essentially programming for themselves, picking what they're going to do. It could be, you know, this is something that I know you've run into, and I know that tons of people run into, is um, bad feedback mechanisms.
Well,
People will do a workout and they'll go, "I feel great after this. I'm gonna keep doing that workout," even when it's not necessarily, helpful to them in even the short term.
I'm gonna back you up. We're gonna back up.
Okay, let's back
So
up.
so first question, just ask the first question and then I'll go from there.
And who's asking the questions here? All right, so what are the most common problems that people seem to have with their workouts?
Great question. So there's I'd say there's a lot of problems, but the first one is when people are trying to lose weight, if they don't know how to lift weights, they pick the easiest thing. And so what people will do is cardio, which is great. I do cardio. Cardio is good for you. It's good for your heart health. But if you're trying to lose body fat, then doing more cardio without prioritizing protein or strength training is going to lead to muscle loss, which is going to put you in a worse place after you're done with your quote unquote diet, right? Um, but then the other biggest common mistake I see, especially with the clients that hire me, because I tend to work with like former athletes, high performers, like very type A sort of people, because that is me. And we do too much. We train way too often, way too intensely, and we use signals like soreness and feeling totally like fried by the end of the day as like indicators of progress, and we don't prioritize recovery. So usually it's doing too much. But then if we go into the nuances, most people don't know how to program effectively. Um, and there's a couple different trains of thoughts, but for the most part, you want to prioritize like when you're well, you should be lifting about 2 to 4 days a week, no more than that. Your body needs to recover. So that's number one, like frequency, training frequency in general. If you're on anabolic steroids, great for you. These are not the people that I coach, and because that's not good for your health. So, um, probably listening to the wrong podcast. But if you're on anabolic steroids, these rules don't necessarily apply because you're overriding your body's signals by giving it more testosterone to where it can recover, even with overtraining. Um, but if you're not on anabolic steroids, which are most people, are not on anabolic steroids, 2 to 4 times a week is plenty. And really, most people like probably don't eat 4 times a week. It's usually the clients like myself, who's type A, who like to train. Um, we can train 4 days a week. We just have to moderate kind of the intensity or the frequency. So like I won't do a full body lift 4 days a week. I would do like an upper lower split. So that way I'm training lower body twice a week, upper body twice a week, and or like depending on the client, you know, 2 to 3 days, full body split, probably. Or it might be one full body day, a upper and a lower day, depending on the client and the intensity and time. So usually that's like a nice sweet spot. There are some clients who I work on consistency with, and they might train every day, but they're doing like 1 or 2 exercises a day. And these clients are not the clients that know how to push the intensity yet. They haven't gotten to that point. They're just working on building in a routine of exercise and movement. So I'm not scared of them overtraining. Whereas somebody like me who was an athlete and who tends to push really, really hard, like us training 6 days a week, not good, which is what I was doing before I met my coach. And started working with my coach. So that's kind of the biggest thing. Then the other thing is people will not pick the movements that are going to be the biggest movers. So, and by that I mean like people won't do the hard lifts that are really good because they're hard or they don't know how to do them properly. Um, which is the other value of an in-person trainer or a coach online that you can like send videos to or have the direct feedback in person. Like, but really the best like lifts that you should have at least 1 or 2 of these in each of your workouts are like squats, deadlifts, so hinge patterns like hip thrust, a deadlift, trying to think of other hinge patterns. I can't. Um, Presses, so like overhead press, bench press, rows, any type of row variation, and like pull-ups or like lat pull down machine if you can't do a pull-up or chin up. Yeah, those movement patterns are great. They hit a lot of different muscle groups. And if you've never really trained before, or you haven't really trained consistently, or you haven't really focused on getting strong, just focusing on those 6 movement patterns is going to get you really far. Trying to improve those and progress those. But if you've gotten to a point where you are pretty strong, then you have to be a little bit more intentional about the um, exercises and the rep ranges and the, I guess, different lengthened positions of the muscle, which is a little more complicated. So, but for the most part, having at least 1 to 2 compound lifts in the workout and then some accessory movements to make sure you're targeting the areas of the body that you are and you're pushing close to failure, but not necessarily to failure. That's kind of what I'd recommend. This is a very nuanced discussion. I feel like I'm kind of going all over the place. So, anyway,
Well, it's true. There's certainly a lot of places we could go with this.
yes.
Um, but yeah, there comes a certain point where you, even if you can sustain a bro split, you have to move past. You have to move beyond to
Yes.
avoid plateauing.
And stop skipping leg day.
Yes,
Yes.
it makes a
Actually,
big difference. Here was one thing that for me personally, I have to throw this in because I was a chronic leg day skipper.
he had no butt when we met.
I still don't really, but
It's
it's
more.
more than it was. It's more than it was. But when you strengthen your legs, your body can put more muscle on everywhere, like when it's evenly distributed. Um, so it'll actually help get you past a plateau. Like if you're a chronic leg day skipper and you stop skipping leg day, you'll be able to get your bench up more. You'll be able to get up your overhead press more. Your curls, even your curls will go up. So yeah, don't skip leg day.
Yeah. And ladies like butts. So build your glutes, men.
I'll turn that right back around. Ladies, do your upper body, but don't stop growing the butt. Oh,
I
my
don't think
pants
that.
are hard to get into. Trust me. Trust me. That's a
Okay,
nugget of
husband.
wisdom from Fit Habit Husband right there. So,
Yes.
should we move on to our final question?
Well,
Oh,
I had something to add, but
by
I
all
kind of forgot what
means.
I was going to say. So that'll be for another time if I.
We got distracted by butts. Okay.
Yes.
Well, let's move on to our final question here.
Okay.
What have been some of your biggest fitness challenges?
There have been so many, and you know this. So do you want to like be more specific or should I just talk about whatever? Cuz really, I guess really the root is one thing. The root of all problems is one thing for me, which you know. Stress. So my biggest fitness challenge, which I guess it's not fit, it's just kind of wellness health thing, is for the past, man, I'm old now. Like 8 or 9 years, really. I've struggled with my menstrual cycle. Like still, like you know, I lost it for like 6 years. It came back. I lost it again for a period of time. It came back and now I'm struggling again. Um and so that's really it's managing stress for me because really if I look back to all of the problems that I've had, um it came down to not managing my stressors well. Like, with training when I was in college, it was like I wasn't fueling my body properly. That's a stress. I'm not recovering properly, right? So that's gonna hinder my performance. Um, Stress caused and still causes gut problems for me, like, all the time. Like, if I don't manage that well, um, really the first thing for me to go, though, when I am overly stressed, even if I don't necessarily feel it like I used to. My body's just very sensitive now because of the almost decade-long struggle with this. It's like I'll lose my menstrual cycle, and that's like, "Ugh, again? Okay." Like, what can I remove from my plate? Um, and so gut health will be secondary kind of stress. Like, the menstrual cycle, it goes away quick, and then the gut health kinda follows if I don't really try to dial it in. Um, so yeah, stress really has caused most of my problems and tends to be because it's like, okay, first when I was starting my journey, I was, like, drinking alcohol ridiculous amounts, um, and I was overeating because growing up, a lot of things were restricted in my house, and so when I went to college, I'm like, "Woohoo," like, party and eat all the crap that I couldn't eat, when I was at home. So, stress, overeating, drinking, not sleeping enough, I put on a lot of body fat. I was super inflamed, I looked like a different person. Um, then after that, I'm like, "Wow, I am fat and I don't like how I look, so I'm just gonna eat less and move more." And it kinda worked because I did make better decisions on my food choices. Because knowing, like, "Okay, I need vegetables and probably can't just eat pasta and ice cream all the time." So, you know, making better decisions. Um, then I was like, well, I got to a better place. Like, I probably dropped 30 pounds ish. Then I met my husband and I was still trying to lose weight. And I love you, and it's not your fault. But he said carbs are bad for you. So I was like, oh crap. Okay,
I
I'm
was
not
a
eating
keto guy
carbs.
at the time.
It was keto. So I'm like, okay, no more added sugar, no more carbs. And actually it was kind of good for me because I was eating a lot of processed foods. And so like eating less crap made me feel better. But then I had like no energy all the time and I was like, um, what's the word? It's like you kind of burn out in the middle of a game. What would that be called? Like you're playing like a water polo game and you're like, you know what I'm saying?
I don't know a word for it, but
There's a
yeah,
word.
burning out during the middle of a game,
Yeah,
getting fatigued. That
yeah. There's a word, but it's okay. I'll remember it later. But burnt out during the middle of a water polo game, where it's like I can't even like keep up because I didn't have any carbs, and your body likes carbs, ladies. Carbs are great for you. I eat almost 300. Actually, I eat 375 grams of carbs a day, almost 400 grams. So, and I'm not as active as I used to be. So I probably should have been eating like almost 500 grams of carbs every day as an athlete, like crazy. But I was working out 4 hours a day, 3 to 4 hours a day in college because it was like a job. It wasn't like a health. But anyway, so cut out the carbs, right? That's a stress. That's not good. Carbs help cortisol levels. I was an engineer playing water polo 4 hours a day and doing labs and homework. And who knows what else was causing me mental stress. Um, then COVID hit, and then I couldn't finish my senior year of water polo. And then uh, I turned to exercise, and I was still working out 4 hours a day. And
well,
uh,
here's something that kind of exacerbated that. Uh, Emma is a little competitive, and around that time, she started running with her dad,
that's true.
who is also very competitive.
And I was faster than him for a bit.
And he's quick. He's a mutant.
He's a mutant. He doesn't drink water, guys. Like, it's insane. Like, he literally doesn't drink water. Like, I'm like, "Oh," like, we're skiing all day, and I'm like, "Oh, I need to get some water." And, like, we get to the end of the ski day, I'm like, "Have you had any water?" He's like, "No, I'm good." He's French, he has a little French accent. So, kinda I'm like and I know, like, he's like, "Oh, my body is adapted. I'm like a camel. I don't need water." But it's like, no, you, you might not need it, but it's better for you. And he always gets like muscle pulls and stuff. Anyway, so yeah, that was part of it. But mostly it was like an unhealthy coping mechanism for the stress and all the stuff. Because we used to live in California and we literally could not see anybody, like at all. So that was stressful. The situation was stressful. I was overstressing my body and I still didn't like how I looked. So I was still like restricting things. And then I would overindulge and all the things and always had gut problems and still didn't have a menstrual cycle, but I didn't know it wasn't healthy. So I was like, this is cool. And then I found out it wasn't healthy. And then that's when the journey really started. And it's pretty caught up. But basically, stress has been my biggest fitness challenge, was the point of that long story.
There's a lot of things physiologically where, you know, it's like, oh, you have chronic diseases, you have, you know, all these kind of weird symptoms that they can come up and go. And you go to the doctor and they'll tell you, like, yeah, this happens sometimes. Here's something to help with the symptom. Um, you might have this for the rest of your life. It might go away. We don't know. And a lot of it is caused in some way by stress. Some of it mental, some of it just physiological. A lot of times
Usually
a
in
combination.
combination. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really have this hypothesis that I think most people's problems are caused by stress, but it's just what is the stressor? It's trying to figure out what is the thing that is causing this problem. Um, and usually it's not super simple. It's like a lot of different things. So yeah. So TLDR, stress.
Yeah.
And you've been through it all. You've seen most of my journey.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm a very blessed wife. He's a very patient husband.
It's true. Very humble husband, too.
Yeah, very
Abnormally so.
extremely. uh, any other questions for me? Any other follow-up questions on any of the things we talked about?
Why cottage cheese and not ricotta?
I eat cottage cheese all the time, and I don't eat ricotta very frequently. So it's like, what thing would disrupt my life more?
Yeah, forgive the disruption. Which do you prefer?
I haven't had ricotta in a long time. So cottage cheese, because I just don't we don't buy that. Like I don't eat it. Like what would I have had it on? Like what would you eat with ricotta?
Basically anything.
It's in lasagna, but we haven't done that in a while.
In lasagna, sometimes it can be sort of smushed, and its efficacy can be sort of, you know, its thunder gets stolen.
What
But
would you eat ricotta with, husband?
oh, one of the best times I had ricotta, believe it or not, is at the Cheesecake Factory.
Ugh,
Ridiculous, right? Like not awesome food or anything, but it was this
it's
big heaping
disgusting.
bowl of pasta. Whoever was on sauce duty that night, they were having a good day. Sauce was good, noodles were good, meat in it was surprisingly good, and there was this dollop of ricotta right on the top. It might have been mixed with something else too, but it had like a little bit of chives in it. And when that mixed with the sauce, it was heavenly.
You lost me on the Cheesecake Factory. I feel like
Okay.
we've had that at a good Italian restaurant.
No, actually, I haven't.
Yeah,
No,
I think I have. Like
you
like
probably did, and I was probably jealous.
a rigatoni with like a bolognese and like a dollop of ricotta on it, sort of thing.
It could be. There was one time when and you'll remember this too, we were together. We were at a friend's house, and she had made this thing that was, it's like penne, but huge, like the big tubes that are kind of short. I don't
Cannelloni?
remember the word. It could be cannelloni. It was like that,
Probably wrong.
and it was arranged in this wide pan.
Who made it?
It was stood up, Linda. It was stood
Oh,
upright, and it had this ricotta mixture piped into each noodle,
Yeah,
and
but
then there
you
was
eat like
sauce over
half
the top.
the you ate half the thing.
It
Half the
was
casserole.
fantastic.
You ate half of it, guys. Okay. I still
So
choose cottage cheese.
you're still wrong.
On that note, um, thank you for listening to Fit Habit Life episode 100. If you enjoyed the show, if you could rate the show, subscribe, and share it. That just helps me help more people, which is the goal of this show. So, anyway, thank you for listening,
We'll
and
see you next time for more ricotta tips and tricks.
okay. Peace.